Hey, welcome friends and fellow pickers. I'm Congilio here with another guest lesson for Premier Guitar. These guys are awesome and I'm so thankful to be involved with them because I've known them for a long time. Fun dudes that bring you great info on guitar playing and guitar gear. Where else do you want to go, right? Great spot here at Premier Guitar, and I thought I would do a little intro to hybrid picking. Hybrid picking isn't just for playing country or chicken picking, although I'll do some of that in this lesson and in that track that you heard, obviously, but hopefully I'm going to teach you some ways that you can put it into your normal playing, whether it be for blues, rock, pop guitar. It's so important. You want to get these other digits working for you so that you can expand your playing and add a lot more to it. The track's going to be available. The tablature, of course, will be available. And you want to hit me up out there in the universe for questions, I'm available. Follow me on all of my social networks and my YouTube channel. I'd love to chat with you. But for now, we're going to jump in to this hybrid picking lesson. It's broken into 3 little sections, sort of a beginner, intermediate, advanced. I'll even give you a tip on how I like to practice it for getting it into all my playing. All right, so let's dive into the lesson, and I broke this up into 3 sections, sort of like a beginner, intermediate, advanced kind of thing. So if you're just getting your wheels under you with hybrid picking, stay close, you pay close attention to the first part, and then slowly start to integrate some of the licks and the riffs and that sort of stuff. But we want to talk about technique a little bit to get started. I use a flat pick and my middle and ring fingers on my right hand. You can see that I use acrylic nails. I've been doing that for a long, long time, and I've seen everybody from Brent Mason to Ani DeFranco use acrylic nails, and it's just a part of what I do and how I play guitar nowadays. It works for everything, not just country music. And when I was playing, in swing bands, I was using it to comp chords. It's a great way to kind of get more of a piano type of feel to some of your chord playing, which we're going to do here in this first part. So let's jump in and talk about that. We're in the key of G. We're starting on a D for a bar, then a C, and then a G. So nothing too tricky, but we're going to use these chords for the D and the C. Now this is a great inversion that you should familiarize yourself with if you don't know it already. We're going to play a D triad there up on the 7th fret, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings, and then your bottom note there is going to be an F sharp. So get used to playing that, move it down a whole step, and that's going to be what you use for C. It's a C/E in your notation. And then you can use this chord for a G, or you can use that if you choose. But either way, you want to see that happening there because some riffs are going to come out of it, all right? So now what I want you to do is put your pick on the 5th string and your 2nd and 3rd fingers on the 5th and 4th strings. And I want you to go pick, finger, pick, finger. And just get used to that. Move it down a whole step. Okay, so those 2 chords, play them with that attack. Now to play along with the track, what we're going to do, it would go something like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that kind of idea. So you're going to go pick, finger, pick, finger, pick, finger. And you'll see that as I mute, I actually lift my fingers off the strings. That's a really important technique to get this sounding clean. And you want to listen to the piano in the track that I've provided because that's kind of doing the same rhythm. I did that on purpose so you could lean into it and kind of glue yourself to that piano part. Now you might not always do that, but it's a good thing to practice. Then what I'm going to do is approach that note here from a half step below with a little hammer on. And you'll hear that in rock all the time. But we're going to do it with hybrid picking. And when you get it really good, you're going to do something like that. So. Now we're going to go to that chord here, and you're going to move your pick to the 4th string, that's your G note, and then your 2nd and 3rd fingers are going to play the 1st and 2nd strings on the 3rd fret. And get that comfortable. So see the chord, and then toggle off of those notes. So you're skipping the 3rd string. So that's something you might not have done too if this is new to you. And what you're going to be doing here is always toggling back and forth on that fourth string. So the first part, the second part, back to the fourth string. This third finger is going to bar second and third strings on the 5th fret. Back to the 4th string G. Then you're going to bar the 3rd fret, 2nd and 3rd strings. And then you're going to add the 2nd finger to the 3rd string, 4th fret. And again, watch my right hand. I'm playing those solely with the fingers. So let me play that riff for you slowly in its entirety. When you speed it up. So there's your piano type playing. Okay, that takes us to the next section of the track. What you're going to do now is just move that all the way up to the 10th fret. So nothing new, just a new spot on the guitar. I love teaching that way, so it's sort of this like stacking layers sort of a thing. So we go over the G chord. Now if you played this, up here on the 10th fret, there's a D chord. When the progression comes back around, same idea, same right hand technique. You guessed it, move it down a whole step. Now you're covering the C chord. So now after you have both of those riffs on the D and C chord, what we're going to do now is play a really fun riff that you can take and put it in a lot of different stuff, but really we're going to be basing it on major thirds. And we're going to start it here with the major third G and B. That's on the 1st and 2nd strings, 7th and 8th frets there. And we're going to do this little cool riff. It's a great walk down idea, and you're just going to use, on your right hand, you're just going to use your 2nd and 3rd, or your middle and ring on the 1st and 2nd strings. And you're going to play that down chromatically. And I would encourage you, once you get good at that, do that same sort of lifting up thing. That makes it have that real nice staccato sort of country sound. And then what you're going to do is end it here on the 3rd fret, 1st and 2nd strings. And then, you guessed it, we're going to go back to that lick we worked on over the G chord. And it kind of ties right into that. So we'll walk it down from here. Right to the 3rd string and 2nd string, 5th fret. And we toggled back to the 4th, and all that right hand stuff is still in play that we did before. Okay? And you find little things like that when you're playing to kind of tie it all back together. It's the little period at the end of the sentence. So when we put that second section all together now, we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. Just that ending lick right there you could do a lot with. There you go. Okay, so let's move on to the final portion where we're kind of doing a little bit more lead guitar-esque kind of stuff. All right, so the third part of this lick is pretty fun because now we're getting into a little bit more chicken picking kind of thing, playing some single line stuff. And you got to have some technique under your belt already. You know, make sure you have some strong bends because you're going to need to hold these strings while you do this. Again, we're still playing D, C, and G, and we're going to really play into those chords with these riffs. We're going to bend our 3rd string here on the 9th fret from an E to an F sharp. And then we're going to play the F sharp on the 2nd string, 7th fret as well. And our right hand is going to play the pick on the 3rd string, and then the middle finger is going to get the 2nd string, 7th fret. And you want to make sure you get there as in tune as you can with the bend, but it's kind of fun to also kind of gradually get it in there too, okay? You know, free reign, do whatever you like. So I'm thinking I really got to target that D at the end of the day. Then I release it on the 3rd string there, play the D, B on the 4th string, 9th fret, and then back to the D. But the trick here is that you really want to get this toggling. Let me get it in tune for you. Really make that happen with your pick and right hand finger there, that middle finger. Move the same thing down a whole step for the C chord. Okay? Right hand stays the same. Now, this is sort of the more advanced part, and we're going to slide into this, but it's going to be reminiscent of what we played in the second part of this groove. And we're going to do a fun sort of walk up into that little major 3rd. That's where we're going to end up, right? So we're going to go, and you're going to slide into the B note on the 4th string. And also be thinking, oh, this is all G major and G major pentatonic, because somebody's going to ask me that. It's literally impossible to cover everybody that wants to know is, you should have named the notes, you should have named the frets, you should have named the strings. All right, I got that out of my system. Let's go on to this lick. So what happens is we're going to slide into that 4th string, 9th fret. Just think about walking up to it first. And maybe do it with the pick first so you know the notes. It's going to be B, D, E, and then the double stop G and B there. Okay, so 9th, 7th, 9th, double stop, B, D, E. And notice how I grabbed the double stop with those fingers. I worked it in just as we learned it before. But now, getting it up to speed, we want to slide in. And what I do is I'll grab that D note on the 3rd string with my 2nd finger. So watch me play it slowly. So it's like pick, finger, always alternating. And I'd probably slide for maybe a half step away from that B note. And you hear country players do this all the time. So I wanted to put a little bit of that in there. And then what I do is I just walk it down chromatically again. So it's like a spruced up version of what we already learned. So that's where we're headed. And that's, you've heard that in Hendrix, all sorts of stuff. But we're going to attack it with the hybrid picking. And watch my right hand, how I'm playing those 1st and 2nd string notes on the 3rd fret, keeping it barred, but the 3rd finger is grabbing that 2nd string E note. Always be watching my right hand. This is one instance where you really want to watch the right hand when you're playing or when you're learning. Go back to that idea that we learned early on. And then you're going to walk up this little riff. Now watch how I pick this. So it's pick, hammer, 2nd finger is going to grab that 2nd string. And it's always pick, finger, pick, finger. So that's a great one to work on just to get the single note stuff happening. So it's pick, hammer, 2nd finger on your right hand, or middle finger grabs that D note, pick on that E note, 2nd string, 5th fret, and then your 1st finger grabs the G on the top. Then you're going to end it with this little idea. So you're going to hammer on from D to E, and then you're going to add your 1st finger, or your 1st finger is playing this G on the top string here, but your middle finger on your right hand is always grabbing that. And you can kind of experiment with lifting your hand on and off the strings. You'll see me kind of do that because I don't want them to ring together. Now you could have them ring together. It's a different kind of sound that way. And I end on a D because the chord coming around is D. All right, so those are all the pieces for the little solo that I played, or the little motif of hybrid picking ideas. But we're gonna talk about one other real quick thing, maybe how to practice. All right, let's jump into that. All right, so let's say you want to practice hybrid picking, but you want to start to work it into more single line playing, or just use it as an exercise or just a physical practice when you're sitting on the couch playing guitar. Take an A minor pentatonic scale, which is right here on the 5th fret, 6th string. I'm not going to assume everybody knows this, but a lot of us do. So it goes like this, if we picked all the notes. And I want you to go pick, finger, pick, finger, pick, finger, pick, finger, so on and so forth. And what that does is just kind of start to get your hand involved a little bit. And you could take it as slowly as you want to. You could do it with a major scale. And that would be sort of a good way to get your hands and pick and fingers all talking to each other. This is going to be something new for you, or if it is new for you, you want to start to go slowly and get everything sort of talking and connecting and the fine motor skills working, okay? That's something I wanted to throw in as a little bonus because I still practice that to this day. And then you'll start to kind of figure out ways that you can put hybrid picking into the licks that you already know, and you'll probably pick up a lot of speed too, which is really cool. All right. Another little added tidbit there I wanted to give you. It's a way that I still practice, like I said, and I think it's important to know. All right, so that's a lot of fun to play and teach. A lot of light bulbs still go off for me, and I hope you get something out of it. If you do, awesome. Put it into your playing as soon as you can. More importantly, have fun with it. That's what we do this for, right? Special thanks to Premier Guitar for having me. I hope to see you all again on another guest lesson on their YouTube channel. For now, I'm Corey Congilio. Be well. Keep on practicing. See ya.